Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? We got some great news to talk about, man. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Frank the Ghost Martin has reportedly been agreed upon between both camps. No date, no venue, but they're talking about late spring, early summer. I think this is fantastic. If you're a Tank Davis fan, if you're a Frank Martin fan, if you're a boxing fan, this is fantastic. And we're going to talk about our initial thoughts. And once the fight is official with a date and a venue and, they getting press conferences going, we'll break this fight down and go a little bit more in depth, talk about the ins and outs, the X's and O's. And then we'll talk about some of the things that you have to look at from a mindset perspective and what that looks like, what that could translate into going into the ring, because I think those are going to be some important things to touch on. But just our initial thoughts here. First and foremost, if this fight is actually going to happen, I want to salute Tank Davis for, one, offering the fans a fight that we can accept willingly and proudly and, want to pay for, because this is Tank Davis's first Black American fighter with a level of skill and ability that we haven't seen him face in the ring at a professional level. Frank Martin, though he has never fought in a world title fight before, had a competitive fight versus bronze medalist Arturian, I believe that's how you say the brother's name. I always mess it up. In his last fight, he won. Some people call it a controversial decision. Some people are saying, well, Tank Davis is only opening up to the idea of fighting him because he showed some vulnerability in that fight. We not gonna dig too deep into that, because this is still a really good fight. This is a fight that I wanted to see before Frank Martin had that fight with Arturian, and I wanted to see this fight after that. You dig what I'm saying? I think Frank Martin can offer a lot of challenges to Tank Davis to allow Tank to kind of open up and take his game to another level, show us some things that I already know Tank got, but this will give him a chance to display that on the big stage and just take his game to another level. In that last video that I made, when I talked about showing growth and maturity and improvement, not only outside the ring but inside the ring, skillfully and stylistically, this is one of those fights that can give Tank Davis that opportunity. And coming off of the Ryan Garcia fight, the pay-per-view numbers, all of the success that he had, in my opinion, this is a good follow-up, because you're fighting another undefeated fighter. And not only that, this is a legit competitor, a legit contender. Frank Martin is game. Frank Martin put on a phenomenal performance versus Michelle Rivera, who is, I think, is a really good fighter coming up. And Frank Martin has low key been quietly building a nice resume for a guy who started boxing late, for a guy who hasn't gotten a chance to get the big fights yet, but he's been positioning himself to get highly ranked in pretty much every sanctioning body at 135. Fighting the likes of Jackson Marinez, Michelle Rivera, and Arturian, guys that have pedigree and decent skill levels that could push you and, help you sharpen your game. So this is gonna be a really good fight, man. I think, I don't look at Frank Martin as the type of guy that's gonna go in there and lay down. And I think if the going gets tough for Tank Davis, I don't see him as the type of guy that's gonna lay down. Number one, it's too much on the line for Tank, and he ain't gonna get that up very easily. And number two, I believe that Tank, if he had to get into a fight, if he had to dig deep into his bag in order to pull out a victory, I think he could do that. And to be honest with you, I think in certain cases he's shown that. With the Isaac Cruz fight, where he hurt his left hand, where he couldn't throw his infamous left uppercut, one of his best weapons, he showed that he could make adjustments and use his feet and box off of the back foot and use his lead right hand to even throw uppercuts unconventionally and to throw his jab and throw those check right hooks and just keep Isaac Cruz guessing, keep him at bay and pull out a victory. He showed in the Mario Barrios fight when Floyd Mayweather came over to him and said, hey, bro, you down on the cards. I need you to make some shake. And Tank Davis go in there, you know, start pressing forward, take the jab away from Mario Barrios and just commence to, you know, whooping ass. You dig what I'm saying? Tank Davis has shown us levels in fights, and I think this is another opportunity for him to take that up a notch because Frank Martin is game, in my opinion. Frank Martin is a very skilled fighter with a great coach in Derrick James and has great pedigree with the guys that he's seen around him, being able to rub shoulders with Anthony Joshua, Earl Spence Jr., you know, being able to have those conversations with high quality fighters and boxing minds to sharpen your game. I think that's very important. That's what you call pedigree. You know, so I believe Frank Martin, you know, having the skill, the athleticism, really good power at the 135 division, being a southpaw. We haven't seen Tank Davis versus many southpaws. And this is just going to be a different look, man. I'm excited about this. I want to give kudos to Frank Martin for, you know, of course he going to get a bag. So everybody love to get paid, right? But I think Frank Martin, you got to commend him for also stepping up his game, and with him working to get highly ranked in these sanctioning bodies. He ain't just finna fight any old champion. He's fighting Gervonta Tank Davis, who, you know, got elevated to as a WBC full-time champion now. So there's a title there, and then there's that notoriety, that status, that money, that, you know, everything that comes with that. And then there's the task of actually beating a Tank Davis, one of the pound-for-pound best fighters on the planet. So this is I think it's a really good fight, man. This is a fight that, you know, I think we'll find out something about Tank Davis, and I think we're gonna find out a lot about Frank Martin. So, you know, I'm excited to see this one. They haven't announced anything in regard to the undercard. You know, I'm interested to see what y'all think as far as, you know, just this fight in general, the X's and O's stylistically, who you got winning and why. And just what's your initial thoughts? Like I said, once we get more information, we'll break this fight down more in depth. But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender Regime Boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.